For over 3 decades, the Hippodrome has brought the best in challenging contemporary theater to Alachua County and North Central Florida. The goal? To enrich our community and our world through the art of theater. This is the Hippodrome's 36th season, and as we are about to see, the vision that inspired its founding in 1972 is still alive, vital, and flourishing today.
It's been said that art imitates life, but for the artists at the Hippodrome State Theater, it seems art is more than a reflection. It is their life's blood. The theater is words, music, and motion, thought, sound, sight, ideas, senses, and emotion. An imaginary world which crystallizes ours, for a moment, through a story shared. The Hippodrome has been sharing their stories with enthusiastic audiences for the last 36 years.
I think the arts to the Gainesville civilization is as necessary as food and water. They've proved that to us here at the Hippodrome for 35 plus years. The founders worked without much pay. They did without so much, but they were determined and very passionate about building this wonderful place for people to share in the stories that we bring to them.
It was that love for storytelling which led 6 University of Florida drama students to return to Gainesville after graduation to form the Hippodrome. Greg and Mary Hausch, Bruce Cornwell, Marilyn Wall, Carrie McKinney, and Orrin Wexberg.
When we were all in college, all the founders of the Hippodrome, we decided that we wanted to put together a theater that we could do the type of work that we really wanted to do, that we could do theater constantly, and that was our passion in life, and so we decided that we would start a theater.
We did pretty radical stuff in college, and I think we got out and were sort of all stunned with what real life is, or what I guess our parents called real life. So we all went away and worked for a year and then got back together and threw in whatever we had, and rented a 7-Eleven, and they rented us a 7-Eleven of the 3 guys. There were 3 men and 3 guys and 3 girls, and the guys had to cut their hair. This guy rented us this little 7-Eleven on Hawthorne Road, and we paid $300, which seemed like a lot.
And it was also a lot of long hours, but it was worth it.
I don't think we thought about specifically where we were going. We just thought about what we wanted to do at that time. We just really and truly wanted to do theater and create our art so bad that we just dove into it. I don't think we had anticipated how long it would take, or the challenges that would be in front of us. I think we just spent every day, every hour of every day, working on theater. For the first 2 years, I don't think there was a day that we took off.
We did everything. We did the sets. We would sell the tickets at a little table out in the front door and act in the plays and do all the artwork.
Soon the hard work would pay off, and Hippodrome audiences were growing.
I don't know that we were worried about success or growth at that time. The community responded in an incredible way to us, and they drove all the way out to Hawthorne Road and parked in an old grass parking lot and along the street and came to see our shows until we were so packed that we couldn't stay in that building any longer.
The Hippodrome would move to a warehouse on State Road 441, and when audiences continued to grow, they moved again to the old Federal Building downtown.
A lot of people thought, why are you doing theater downtown when everything's happening on the West End? And we said, you know, downtown, that's where we want to be. We moved into this beautiful building in 1980. And when we moved downtown, there was really nothing downtown. I don't know how many people were here at that time between the 78 and 80. We renovated this building, and the stores were all closed up and boarded shut, and there really wasn't much downtown. Mike's Bookstore and Lillian's were about the only 2 things that were open.
The Hippodrome would play a key role in revitalizing downtown Gainesville as it continued to attract theatergoers, who in turn enticed more businesses to open their doors downtown. It was also at this time it was designated a State Theater of Florida, but even while the Hippodrome continued to grow, it was important to the founders to maintain the spirit of the original Hippodrome.
That that intimate, small, unique place that we had at that time. People felt like they were right there with you in, this environment. And I think that taught us a lot about where we are now, about including audience and why we ended up keeping the Hippodrome so intimate. We have 266 seats. Every one of them is close enough to almost touch the actors on stage. The actors can feel the energy of the audience, and the audience can feel the energy of the actors. And it's a pretty amazing way to see theater because it's so close.
And the theater also maintained the tradition of doing everything in-house, albeit eventually with an expanded staff. Marilyn Wall is the theater's costume designer in residence.
I always call it costume show at the heart of the theater. How we start designing a show is we, first of all, I'll meet with the director and there's a concept of the play. And so then I might talk for 2 or 3 hours with them. I go and do a set of preliminary drawings and then bring in, then meet again. And then I think actors bring a really important, unique point of view. No matter how many times a role has been done, every actor brings something new and unique to it. So I always have thought that every costume designer should have to wear a big wig, a big long tight dress with a train and high heels and a mic on their head and say their lines with great heart. Because it's hard. Being an actor is really hard work.
This cape, worn by Sarah Morrissey in The Illusion, is one of Wall's favorite designs.
It's one of those kind of costumes that you get excited to do as a designer, but it can be old or young or raggy or jeweled. I mean, this wonderful garment, but also the sky's the limit, but it's where you're really tested as a designer. And Sarah told me when she wore it that she was just the presenter of our collaboration. That she didn't really understand her character until she got her costume, which was one of the most wonderful things an actor's ever said.
All the Hippodrome sets are created in the scene shop located behind the cinema. Michael Eady and a 3-man crew of craftsmen and artists do it all.
A typical build here at the Hippodrome, we usually start 4 to 6 weeks prior to the show opening. We actually start our build. And we usually, from the set designer, will get drawings and a set of blueprints and plans that we work from. In any build, we could be carving foam, we can be working with fiberglass, we can be doing steel fabrication, tile work, carpet work, building kitchen cabinets.
The scene shop also handles all special effects needed for productions.
Probably the most challenging would have been Hysteria, the story of Sigmund Freud and Salvador Dali. In that show we had bookcases that fell, we had clocks that the faces melted off of, we had doors that stretched out like they were rubber. That was a real challenge. We worked very, very hard on that show, and very interesting. We a lot of times are asked to do things that initially you go, oh, that's impossible. But it's not. We find a way to do it, and a lot of times we put our heads together as a crew, and we come up with a way to get it done, and that's just very rewarding.
And the Hippodrome has also grown to include a cinema specializing in independent film, recently renovated space available to rent for performances and events, and youth education programs like HIT.
Hippodrome Improvisational Teen Theater. It is a fantastic program where we go and we work with at-risk youth through issue-based improv. So we go and we teach the students about different issues that they might face, whether it's drug abuse, alcoholism, how to protect themselves against STDs. And then we do improv with them. So they develop improv scenes that they then take out on tour to other people in the community. It doesn't take a genius to see what they're up to now. 1 week later, he's sneaking out the door.
The Hippodrome wraps up the current season with a return engagement of the only musical comedy set in Stark, Florida, the Great American Trailer Park Musical, beginning Friday, June 5th.
Last time we did Trailer Park, we had 22,000 people come into our space and watch this to cool off, to have a cold drink and kick back and watch one of the most wonderful musical comedies that's really ever been done. And they proved that they had such a attraction to this piece. They saw it over and over and over again, so here we are again, and it's another chance to get cool, kick back, and watch this great musical that we have for this summer.
When the curtain falls on this season's last performance, work on the Hippodrome's 37th season begins in earnest.
We are very, very proud of the season that we have coming up. We are absolutely delighted with the titles that we have come up with, and we are sure that you will be delighted also.
Audiences have been for a long time now.
The community lets us know that there is no way that they're going to let this building become void of what the Hippodrome has brought to this community for 35 plus years. They yearn, they crave, they want the arts to be a part of their lives. The actors who come to our theater are from all over the country. This is the way they make their living. This is just a little slice of Broadway. It just happens to be geographically in another position.
Well, I think it is that exchange of energy between the audience and the actors. I think that there's nothing that can really replace that.
When you sit in the house and watch the show, it's just amazing. And you see so many people enjoying it, and it's a very good thing.
Sometimes when I stand after we've worked really hard on a show, and maybe on opening night we'll be standing in the light booth, and if I don't have time to get dressed for the show, and I'll stand there and there'll be an actor on stage saying something and the lights come down and they're just perfect in the set, and it's just a moment of art, a moment of heart that just all works together, and I go, oh, my heart just pounds, and I think, oh, this is why I do what I do. I love my work, and I think it's just, I love the Hippodrome, and I will always take care of it.
For more information, visit www.thehip.org or call 352-375-4477. For County Update, I'm Alan Yetter.